Hello, everybody, and welcome to Empyrion Galactic Survival, where we are on the testing field today. We're going to have a look at a couple viewer submissions, as well as one of my own builds, because I think in the last video, or maybe video before, I did ask for your guys' input and suggestions for early game crafts, because that's where we're at right now, very early game. Now, the two things that I really want to get done, you can see we have a CV here. We're not going to be building a CV, at least in the next episode. That's going to be a while. Right now, what I am looking for is early game hover tanks and hover vessels in general, as well as some practical small vessels, one of which we already did kind of start building, one of mine, but and we'll have a look at that. Oh my god. So we are going to take these for a test, guys. I want to start with the hover vessels. Now, having a mining vessel early game can be really helpful. Obviously, mining with hover vessels takes a lot more skill and even a little bit of practice than mining with your hand drill, but it can be very rewarding if you do it correctly. And I already kind of like the look of this thing. It's got good dimensions. It's even. The drills are aligned at the far top corners to help prevent you from getting stuck underground, which is maddening. It's even got an Art Deco antenna. That's a nice touch. I like that. So let's go ahead. Yeah, visually I like it. Let's go ahead and take her for a spin here and have a look. CPU usage is under 5,000. I like that, and I'm not surprised because it is very small. So let's go ahead. Turn around here. Now, I am in creative mode, guys, so there's not actually going to be anything to mine, but we're going to just do it here. Now, I like the way... Okay, that is good design. I don't have to keep it... I don't have to actively try to keep it pointed downward, which is really important when you're about to start going into the ground for a deposit. Having a hover tank where it's constantly drifting up, or it's drifting anywhere by itself, is really problematic. It's a good way to get stuck underground. So I already like the center of gravity on it. So let's go ahead, get her down there. Oh. It's got great turning radius, obviously, because it is basically a perfect cube. So kind of when I start mining, I always start from the top and just kind of spin my way downwards rather than tunnel. I find it to be a lot more effective and sometimes even faster. So it's more what I'm comfortable with. Because I have had really bad experiences, I think everyone has, with mining hovercraft, and they can be quite difficult to produce, to make an effective one. I know I've tried my hand at a few and they were disastrous. Couldn't get the center of gravity right, the drills weren't positioned right, so I just started taking other people's designs, like you do. So, okay, I like it. This is definitely going into rotation, I think. What does it take to build this thing? Let's have a look at the ingredients. Oh, that's easy, guys. Look at that. Okay. Just iron, carbon substrate, copper, and silicon, and not much of any of that. I like it. Alright. You're on my good list. Look kind of goofy floating around. Next, this is the FA028D spider tank. And yeah, it's a spider with guns. Kind of terrifying, in a way. And at first, guys, I kind of thought this was a little bit goofy. And this is one from, I believe, I forget who I downloaded this from, but you can see the author. Yeah, creators, their name is Vermilion. And I think they run a quite extensive Steam workshop. So let's see how she handles. If this is going to be our early game hover tank, obviously, agility is a must. The ability to stop, change directions, to dodge incoming fire. And so far, I like what I'm seeing. Now, the rotation is a little bit slow. I'm sure it could use another RCS. That would be nice. Let's see. Its armaments are... It's got the 2 player-controlled GATs and the 2... Oops. the 2 turrets. Here we go. Yep. And this is not heavy. This is not heavy machinery, guys. You know, this is just 15mm bullets. But if you're starting out looking to take down a small POI, like a really easier type POI early on, to just start to get access to the loot and some of the more rare resources that are hidden inside these things. You know, it's a total of 4 guns. It would take a while to take down a POI. And it doesn't have a lot of up and down responsiveness either, so that could be problematic, especially when you're moving. Although having a really jerky aim is not a good quality to have in a hover tank either. Sometimes there's that lazy slow shift that does help you lock onto a target a bit better. And the thing about this is we could upgrade the weapons too. It's got good upgradability. Especially the turrets, so if we wanted to later on, we could definitely put some heavier equipment on it. Now let's have a look here. Fairly inexpensive, mostly plastic. That is concerning, guys. Yeah, there's a lot of plastic here. In fact, let's go ahead and get out and have a look around the outside to see what this thing actually is made of. Grab me a multi-tool here. And, yeah. Alright, let's see. I got tons of junk on me, guys. I was messing around, testing out some other craft. So, yeah, let's go ahead and have a look here. Okay, there's hardened steel. So, it appears it's armored cockpit. That's good. Alright, and here's the problem. This is what I don't like. If this is just carbon substrate, carbon composite, if that gets blown off, there's one of our... Damn it. Yeah, our hover engine. So I could actually upgrade that. So I'm not comfortable with our hover engines being held on by plastic. Oh, yeah, that's bad. Or I could actually add my own armor plating to it. I think that would be a better decision. Yeah, you can't have that. Are there any other... That's not what you want to see in a battle tank, guys. So that is a big concern. And we might actually... I might modify this. I know it'll drive a little heavier. I fully expect that, but at least we do have hardened steel guarding the guts of the ship. Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, the design is kind of... It's like a novelty design. I get it. Is it practical? It seems to be. It can be, but yeah, we got to get rid of this stuff. Yeah, 18 hit points, guys. You take 1 round from the enemy, they blow off one of our hover engines. We can't have that. So this is definitely going into the maybe pile. It's a yes with an asterisk at the end. I like that it doesn't take a ton of stuff. We'd have to go get some Sathium, which is easy enough to do. Neo and Cobalt, we could take that off a wrecked ship. We're a really low-level POI. So yeah, oh, it's only that one thing now. I know that would increase the weight of this thing again. But we'll see. We'll see, guys. Moving on to small vessels. Here we are. This was submitted by a viewer. I don't believe it's from their workshop, but it's one that was recommended. And, well, first of all, let's see what she made of here. Okay, good. A lot of metals. A lot of metals. I don't see... Well, some carbon substrate. But relatively cheap to produce. Again, we'd have to go find some cobalt and Sathium, but that's common enough in pretty much any wrecked or, again, POI. So let's see. The CPU usage, they got it just under 15K. So that's interesting. I already loaded up the weapons, so let's take her for a spin. Alright. Let's put you through your paces, lady. Oops. Okay, starting out, it feels really heavy. As I would expect from, I would classify this as a medium fighter. And good early game vessel, probably. I like that it has the missiles on it, the missile turrets. And one of them is not loaded. There we go. Yeah, guys, it runs really heavy. Like, really heavy, as in, like, it turning and stopping. Ooh, yeah, that's, it's rough. It's kind of rough, guys. But again, you know, like, yeah, the agility here is what's really concerning me. Can we do knife edge flight? Knife edge flight, always telling. Have a good designed ship. Can't now. Yes, you run way too heavy. But we could use it. It does have decent standoff distance because, you know, we have to be within 210 meters to get the missiles to be able to hit their targets. And of course, we do have the backups for the single Gatling turret. That's also concerning. I would actually like to see a second one on here if it wouldn't put us over the CPU limit. So, yeah, for a fighter, I don't know, guys. It doesn't have the agility. Like, it feels like a CV, like a capital vessel. It doesn't feel like a small vessel. But I do like that it's constructed out of heavy metal and can likely take some punishment. Here, yeah, we got hardened steel blocks most of the way around. Oh, that's an extra RCS I tossed on there. Even with the extra RCS, guys, it's heavy. Okay, so that's a maybe for in the fighter category, because every Empyrion player knows you gots to have a fighter. It's like a must. Next, this is a craft, if it's not obvious, of my own design. This is the Ugly Mule, guys. And the purpose of the Ugly Mule is to be an early game pack horse, as the name implies. She's ugly, but she can carry quite a bit. And for a transport plane, or SV, she's pretty well armed. Pretty well armed. In fact, you could probably take 2 of these GATs off just to free up the weight and use the extra CPU for, you know, whatever you want. Now, a lot of thrusters, guys. There's a lot of thrusters on this girl, but I will show you. I think the max weight I ever pulled with this was like 135 tons, something like that. So again, it doesn't have nearly the power of a CV to lift, but early game, this is level 2, and look, it's actually really cheap to produce, but you guys got to know going in that this thing is mostly made of plastic and thrusters. As you can see there, it's designed to keep as much of its own weight light, so you can lift a ton, and also it has pretty decent storage space. I'll show you. Where are we? I gotta classify these. Yeah, container controller here. Yeah, it's got 15,547 volume. So if you wanted to loot just the main valuables from POI, you could do that. And also, to save gasoline, it has an extra fuel. It has an extra lift mode switch. And what this does is it turns on, I think, is it 4 or 6 medium thrusters? You can see 2 in the back just went on. And this is what gives you the extra lift when you need it. Yeah, there they are. You can see the extra thrusters, I believe, in back there. Let's turn this off. Okay, yeah, so there's a total of, I believe, 8 to 10 medium thrusters, which does up the production cost by quite a bit, but it gives you some serious get up and go, guys. In fact, that's why I like this. This thing is almost more agile than the fighter, just because of its production. So this is what I'm likely going to build us next, and we're going to use this to run off and salvage some POIs just to gather up some necessary supplies for us, so we don't have to take the goddamn hover vessel again and I die in a lake, because that's not fun for anyone. Or maybe you guys had fun with that. I was flailing and screaming like a moron. Yeah, she comes in at 35 tons at 12,000 CPU, or 13,000 really. Cheap to build. So that's me tooting my own horn about this ugly, ugly beast. It actually, you can tell it's by the same designer as the ugly potato that tragically we had to put down. The CV here, I just wanted to show you guys, this was a user submission, or a viewer submission, so I appreciate you guys, you know, throwing your ideas in here. Now this is kind of what I would call a luxury PvE carrier. Obviously got lots of grow plots here. It's got a central central elevator to allow you to get up to the roof, where obviously there's a landing pad here, so that's really convenient. So you can put a larger SV or even a CV, since now we can attach CV to CV, which is really awesome. You can see down in here in this bay, there's another spacious bay, which I really like. And it's got kind of like some life support stuff here. It's got your armor lockers, your med bays, food processor, a couple small constructors. That's actually handy to have if you need to produce some ammunition. Lots of storage space as well, guys. Let's go ahead and look. I looked earlier, I forget what it was, but it has some really huge number of the storage space, the volume. So yeah, it's got 13 cargo boxes, central container controller. So yeah, 320,000 volume, which is good. It's about average. So we are obviously not going to build this yet, guys. We don't have need of it because we barely have any vehicles as it is, and it's going to be way more expensive than anything we can possibly do right now. Yeah, you can see lots of Neo, and I'm guessing it's because it's got some kick-ass thrusters. But let's take it for a spin while we're here. Even though we're not going to do it right now, I did want to show it to you guys. So let's go ahead, fire her up. Do we have fuel? We do not. That's fine. 4% will be enough. Just to get her off the ground and kind of show you guys everything. It's very responsive. It's got great lift, at least in this gravity setting. So I do like that. Obviously, since the CPU limits took effect, like, the controls, like the RCS has really got nerfed, and or at least it seems that way to me. So the turning speeds leaves some to be desired. Now, it doesn't have any manual weapons on it, obviously, but it does have turrets enough to kind of secure a small landing zone. Like if you're just out in the wild, that would probably help. Obviously not against a POI, but yeah, so I like it, guys. I think that's a good candidate for our first one. Obviously not a combat CV, but once we're finished with the planet that we're currently on, this would be a nice option to take all of our shit and leave, you know, just to get off the planet and onto the next planet with the more advanced resources that we need. So I'm happy with this, guys. Thank you all for your submissions. I'm really looking forward to we didn't do this one, and that's because it's completely broken, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, we got some good options here. Thank you guys for your support on this, and I'm still open to options. I'm still always looking for early game, especially hover tanks and small vessels as well, because, you know, I'm kind of iffy on the ones that we got here. I'm confident on our cargo hauler, that's fine, but the plastic on this thing, otherwise pretty slick design, would be its downfall. So I don't think we're going to use this one, guys, unless we modify it. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you back in Empyrion, and probably going to release that video later today or later tonight, the next episode. So be sure to tune in. Love you guys. Bye-bye.